In the world of T20 cricket, there are a few names that get people talking, and Sanju Samson is right at the top of that list. I mean, the guy is a force of nature, breathtaking talent, a successful captain, a literal run-scoring machine. And yet, when it comes to playing for Team India, he's almost always on the outside looking in. It's a huge puzzle, and today we're going to try and unpack the Sanju Samson dilemma. And really, this is the core question, isn't it? How can a player who just dominates the IPL, which is, let's be honest, the toughest T20 league on the planet, struggle so much to lock down a permanent spot in his own national team? It's this wild contradiction that has fans, experts, everyone completely divided.
And this whole debate just hit a fever pitch recently. It felt like Samson had finally cemented his place, you know? He was playing out of his skin, putting up incredible performances, and then, boom, out of nowhere, he gets dropped for his rival, Gill. That one decision, that's what really frames this entire story.
Okay, so to really understand why everyone was so shocked by this, you first have to appreciate just how unbelievably good Sanju Samson is. And there is no better stage to see that on than the Indian Premier League, the IPL. Now, what's so fascinating about looking at this timeline is how it just completely shatters an old myth about him. See, early in his career, everyone labeled him as inconsistent. But just look at this. Since 2020, he's been a rock-solid run scorer. Yeah, there's a small dip in 2023, but then it all leads up to that monster season in 2024. 531. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many runs he piled on in the 2024 IPL. It was his career best, a season where he wasn't just good, he was absolutely elite, leading his team, the Rajasthan Royals, all the way. And here's the kicker. He didn't just get a lot of runs, he got them crazy fast. A strike rate of over 153, that means he was constantly putting the other team under immense pressure. This isn't just about adding runs to the board, this is about outright dominating the game. So here's the bottom line. Samson completely transformed himself. He shook off that old streaky tag and became this reliable, high-impact, boundary-hitting machine. He'd made his case, loud and clear, on the biggest stage in cricket. All right, so if Samson's case was so ridiculously strong, what gives? Why was he dropped? Well, to understand that, we have to flip the script and try to see things from the selector's point of view. We need to look at the case they were making for Gill.
So the official reasoning came straight from the captain, Surya Kumar Yadav. And he highlighted two very specific things: Gill's experience and how efficient he is in the power play, those super critical first 6 overs.
Let's break that down a little. Basically, the selector's logic is that Gill is the more stable option. They see him as the guy who's better at rotating the strike, avoiding those dead dot balls in the power play. Plus, he's got more miles on the clock as a consistent opener. And, maybe most importantly, he's being groomed as a future leader for the team across all formats. Okay, so the selectors gave their reasons, but what do the actual numbers have to say? It's time to put them head-to-head. Let's look at their T20 international stats as openers since the start of 2024. And whoa, this table just lays the dilemma out perfectly, doesn't it? Sure, Gill has a slightly better average, you can't argue with that, but then you look closer. Samson has scored more runs in fewer innings. He's got 300s to Gill's 1, and that strike rate, that gap between 153 and 142, in T20 cricket, that is a massive, massive difference. What these stats really scream is a fundamental clash of styles. You've got Samson, who is all about high impact, all-out power. He's there to change the entire game in just a handful of overs. Then you have Gill, who's more about stability, about rotating the strike and carefully building an innings. And if you need one single image to tell the story, this is it. Nothing shows that difference in style more clearly. In the same amount of time, Samson has hit almost double the number of sixes as Gill, 43 to 22. That is a staggering gap, and it just hammers home Samson's role as the explosive game changer. So if the data, especially the impact data, seems to favor Samson, then the decision to drop him has to be about something more than just what's on the spreadsheet, right? There's got to be more to it. And this is where it all comes together. The decision wasn't just about stats. It was this complex cocktail of different factors. First, you've got tactical fit, the idea that Gill's stability works better with other aggressive players. Second, and this is a big one, is team hierarchy. Gill's a vice captain, he's seen as a future leader. That gives him political capital. And finally, let's be real.
The competition for a spot in this Indian team is just absolutely insane. So where does all this leave Sanju Samson? Well, he's still the successful captain of his IPL team, and he has a central contract with the Indian Cricket Board. That means he's officially still in the system, but he's very much on the fringe, just waiting and hoping for his next shot.
And that really brings us to the final million-dollar question. As we look ahead to the next T20 World Cup, what are the selectors going to prioritize? Are they going to stick with the safe choice, the tactical fit, or will they finally decide to gamble on the raw, explosive, game-winning impact that a player like Sanju Samson brings to the table? I guess only time will tell.